Nothing illegal, nothing unconstitutional. It's all within the framework of the Bicameral Conference Committee report, which was signed by the members of both houses.
Alam siyempre ng mga local officials doon at ng mga congressmen doon na ganon, na mayroong projects ng DPWH sa kanila. Then ngayon, biglang nilipat. After ratification, nawala, nalipat sa ibang mga district na hindi identified by DPWH kundi identified by congressmen na that are close to the leadership.
The 2019 budget suffered delays for the first time under the Duterte administration because senators and congressmen disagreed over so-called illegal insertions that were eventually vetoed. By the time President Duterte signed it in April, the delay had slowed down economic growth in January to March. So how will the administration avoid a repeat of the General Appropriations Bill getting stalled in Congress? The Constitution requires the President to submit a budget proposal to Congress within 30 days from the opening of every regular session. The budget for the succeeding year details an expenditure program to run the government and fund projects and services. It also provides sources of financing. While mindful of the constitutional process, Budget Officer in Charge Janet Abuel says they will take a different tack in the 18th Congress.
Normally, we do it earlier. But this time po, because of our recent experience and because of the recently concluded elections that we have new legislators, mas gusto po naming more or less maayos na po muna on the part of the legislative body.
She's referring to the House speakership that eventually needed President Duterte's intervention to settle the issue among aspirants. According to a DBM memorandum that sets parameters for the 2020 budget, government will spend 4.1 trillion pesos, more than 300 billion pesos higher than the current outlay. Of the whole amount, nearly 45% or around 1.8 trillion will be spent for existing priority programs and projects, 32.8% for automatic appropriations such as debt repayment and special purpose funds, and over 911 billion pesos for new projects. Where will the money come from? The DBM expects to collect more than 3.5 trillion from taxes, customs charges, from fees and services, and from a growing revenue source, government fees on gaming activities. There is never enough to cover government spending every year, which determines the country's growth. Thus, the perennial budget deficit or the gap between revenues and expenditures. To plug this gap, the government resorts to borrowings. Of the estimated 2020 borrowings, 75% will be from local sources and 25% from foreign loans. The administration will continue its cash-based spending. This requires agencies to spend the entire budget within a year. Over 1 trillion pesos, or a fourth of the whole budget, will be spent for the Build, Build, Build program. There will be new spending items in the budget proposal, among them universal healthcare, food security, Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, and the new Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development. Other priority programs include free tuition in state colleges and universities, unconditional cash transfer, and coastal resource management. The President has until August 21 to submit the National Expenditure Program to Congress. President Rodrigo Duterte is expected to sign the 2020 national budget before the end of December 2019. If he fails to do so, the Philippines' economic growth may be stunted again next year, and programs meant to serve the people may have to wait a little longer or even fail to take off. Chad de Guzman, CNN Philippines.